Mike Leach is going to be the next head coach of Mississippi State. We got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner
What's up, kin folks? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today we get to talk about Mike Leach bringing air raid hell to the SEC. Yes, I wanted this to happen with Tennessee. Now we get it to happen at Mississippi State. Starkville, what's up? Thank you for pulling the trigger. Thank you for getting my mans out of Pullman into Starkville. Going from one backwood to another backwood, but this the Mississippi mud. Now, whoo, Mississippi State, this ain't what y'all used to, okay? This ain't your running quarterback. This ain't your spread. This is air raid. This is air raid sirens. This is pirate football. This is Oklahoma to Texas Tech to Washington State to Starkville. This is mommy, baby. Yes, sir. Look. All right, first you're getting a winner, all right? Okay, 11-2 in 2018, okay? Garnder Minshew taking the NFL by storm. That's a Mike Leach dude, right? Grad transferred over there after playing at East Carolina. Turns into a Heisman candidate, all right? People forget that about Garnder Minshew. Also, Anthony Gordon. Didn't know who the hell Anthony Gordon was before the start of the season. Anthony Gordon turns out to be a player, right? One of the nation's passing leaders, right? One of the nation's leaders in TDs. Why? Because they throw the damn ball. That's what they gonna do. 50 attempts. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at 50 attempts a game. Running back's about to get work. Wide receivers about to get so much work. Man, if Mike Leach hires the right defense coordinator, it's over for y'all in the SEC West. Nick Saban, what's good? This is coming to your house. Lane Kiffin, what's good? This is coming to your house. Egg Bowl's gonna be so much fun. The Egg Bowl's gonna be what's up. Sam Pittman versus Mike Leach. That's what we looking for. Look, LSU versus Ed Orgeron. Oh my God. This is going to be so much fun. The SEC West is now the most fun division in all of college football, all right? Like, I kind of want it to be its own conference at this point, but I will settle for Dan Mullen and Kirby Smart in the world's largest cocktail party. Mark Stoops is going to try to figure it out. Vanderbilt will probably never figure it out. Auburn has figured it out before. We'll see if they can figure it out again. I'm here for this. This is so exciting. Because Mike Leach goes to a place, implements his style of play, implements a defensive coordinator you probably never heard of who goes out there and gets W's with the exception of this past season where he had to let the dude go. But Alex Grinch, who's at Oklahoma, who we're all very excited about, very good, goes to Ohio State, ends up at Oklahoma. That's a Mike Leach find. And I got to interview Mike Leach on this channel. You can find it, search RJ Young Mike Leach, and ask him about Alex Grinch and hiring a guy who had never been a play caller before and what that would mean to him. And he said, look, the thing that you wonder about is, can he recruit? Well, you never know until you get the guy. And not only could he get who he needed, he turned Hercules Mataafa into a defensive tackle All-American at like 6'3", 254. But that's Alex Grinch. Mike Leach has that eye for talent and coaching, and he knows everybody, right? His joke was, I need to call up Lincoln, see if I can't get some more guys on at Oklahoma because he got so many dudes on at Oklahoma. Dennis Simmons was a Mike Leach fine, right? Bill Bedenbaugh once worked for Mike Leach, right? Cale Gundy worked with Mike Leach. Lincoln Riley famously played for, coached under Mike Leach. That is the kind of head coaching personnel coaching personnel he's going to be able to put on a conveyor belt for you at Mississippi State. And those guys are going to go out you and get dudes that fit the program and fit winning as a culture. Somebody was going to make this hire, and I'm glad that somebody did. Now, all of the Mississippi State just fanfare. This is also a man who called out his own team earlier this year, talking about, they're listening to their little girlfriends and they're soft. They're really soft. Also, the dude that's going to count how many chickens is being hatched and whatnot last January when I was talking to him is really cool. I'm so good with this, right? Because you need a remake and a rebuild at Mississippi State. Now, I thought you should have got somebody who is familiar with the South, and guess what? Got somebody who's familiar with the South. Mike Leach coached at Valdosta State, coached at Kentucky before he got on at Oklahoma. People forget that. He has had experience in the SEC before, even as people really ascribe him as a Big 12 coach or a Pac-12 coach in recent history. Sorry about your Washington State. You're about to go back into the doldrums. Maybe you'll find somebody that's worthwhile. Maybe we'll find somebody that we're like I don't know, Billy Napier or any of the dudes that are up for the job at Baylor. Like Josh Heupel might end up at Washington State where he can just take over a scheme that's not unlike the one that he's running now. Because remember, Josh Heupel played quarterback for Mike Leach at Oklahoma, won a national championship. That's the other thing you're getting into Mississippi State. You're getting a Mike Leach that has won a national championship, right? And in the SEC, we all know if you win the SEC championship game, you're going to get into the playoff and you're going to have an opportunity to go win it all, right? Even if you finish in the conference championship game, we know that you're likely to get an invite if that's your only loss because of how deep that conference is and how much the playoff committee has held that conference in such high esteem over the past, right? The other thing I really love about Mike Leach is he doesn't really care about stars, right? People say that they do or they don't, but they do, right? Mike Leach wants the dudes to fit his system. If that means that he's going to go get the guy from East Carolina who is going to be a grad transfer / grad assistant at Alabama, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be able to turn all of his quarterbacks into the best doing it. His quarterback meetings are legendary because they famously do not talk about football, right? He makes coffee that he calls Bucci, and he has his quarterbacks make the coffee. He will steal a dip from you as a millionaire head coach. He's going to steal a dip from you, stick it in. Fits right in with the mud, right? Going to be able to recruit that area very well, but then again, there's going to be a bunch of guys around there that can recruit. I mean, Mike McIntyre just took the defense coordinator position at Memphis. We know what Lane Kiffin is at Ole Miss. We know what Sam Pittman is at Arkansas. We know what LSU is in Louisiana. We know what Alabama does. All of these coaches are going to just raid this rich 200-mile radius around Starkville. But if he can rope off South Panola to start with, go into Hoover and win, he's going to have something to build with. This is exciting. Jeremy Pruitt, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Dan Mullen, Gus Malzahn, Sam Pittman, Lane Kiffin, Ed Orgeron. Man, this conference is so loaded with coaching talent, with coaching know-how. I'm glad somebody else went outside of the Nick Saban tree to go to find a person that they think can compete with Nick Saban. We also know that Tennessee is going to really feel this. Mississippi State gets a chance to play them ever. I'm not sure. I got to check the schedule because this news hit me when it hit you. And I saw it and I said, please let this be true. And the more I checked on it, it's more than true. It is the most amazing news in coaching circles in recent memory. Like the thing that I was this excited about last was Ed Orgeron getting the head coaching job permanent at LSU. I've not been that excited about a head coaching hire in that amount of time, which seems wild, right? Because we saw Tom Herman get the job at Texas. We saw Lincoln Riley get the job at Oklahoma. We've seen really inspiring coaching hires. We've seen really inspiring fits. I'm not sure that Mike Leach is an absolute fit. I think if you give him time to cook, he's going to be more than a fit, and he might retire in Starkville, right? That might be the last place he ever coaches football. He's going to bring his wife Schein with him, who was once their secretary at Iowa Wesleyan. Mike Leach also knows what it means to try to sell his program. He was the SID for the Iowa Wesleyan program when he and Hal Mumme were out there. So much so that he would send press releases out to the various reporters and got called onto the carpet by their vice president of public affairs or public relations at Iowa Wesleyan saying, you need to stop doing your job. And Mike Leach told her what she could do about him stop doing his job. He also gave you Dana Holgorsen, right, at Houston. That game between Washington State and Houston was a lot of fun. But there's so much talent around for him to pull from. I'll be really interested to see who the defensive coordinator is. I'll be really interested to see who he fills out the staff with. But there are no amount of dudes that are just aching to try to get something started with Mike Leach. I am all about this. All right. That's it for me. Deuces.